Chapter 22 of Pee Wee Harris on the Trail. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by John Brandon. Pee Wee Harris on the Trail by Percy Keese Fitzhugh. Chapter 22. Hark! The conquering hero comes. "What the dickens is this, anyway? A cemetery?" said Mr. Swiper, poking the finding light this way and that as the car of 1,000 Delights came slowly up toward the bend. "It's some rocky road to Dublin, all right." He cast the light along the dark road behind them and looked apprehensively back as far as he could see. Evidently there was no cause for fear there, and he dropped the car of 1,000 Delights into second gear and picked his way along the narrow, rocky way below the bend. "I guess it will be better when we get around here," he said. "We have to watch our step in this jungle. Nice place to build a church, huh?" He threw the finding light upon the little edifice ahead and brightened the small stained-glass window, casting a soft reflection upon Deacon Small's slanting marble slab nearby. The small figure in a gray sweater with a rather tough look, cap drawn over his round face, who sat huddled alongside the driver, seemed not to partake of the delights which the big car claimed to furnish. He seemed chilled and very much worried. He looked wistfully ahead at the graveyard where the strange, soft, reflected light shone. "The people around here haven't got any phones," he said. "Anyways, what's the use phoning Mr. Bartlett, because he'll only be in bed. If we're going straight to Bridgeboro, gee whiz, what's the good of phoning? What's the use waking people up around here, even if they have got phones? Gee whiz, you're acting awful funny. Why didn't you ask me to phone when we were passing through a village?" "You're going to get out and phone when I tell you to, see?" said our friend, the manual training teacher. "And you ain't going to give me no sass neither, understand? I don't let kids tell me my business." "You just want to get rid of me, that's what," said Pee-wee. "Gee, you might as well say what you mean. I'm not scared." "Oh, ain't you? Well, you do as I tell you and you'll be all right. You do as I tell you if you want to get a ride home. See? Mr. Bartlett and me are grown-up men, we are, and we know what's the right way to do. When a kid is told to do something, he's got to do it. You know so much about them scout kids, don't you know that? I'll take care of this here car of Mr. Bartlett's. The next house we come to, I'm going to stop and let you out a little way past it, and you're going to show what you can do. You're going to go back and phone to tell Mr. Bartlett we're on our way, and I'll wait for you. You wanted me to do that at a house that was empty and where there wasn't any phone. I could tell, because there weren't any wires. Do you think scouts can't see things? You just want to get rid of me, that's all. You want to get rid of me where there aren't any phones or people or anything. Gee, maybe I'm not as strong as you, but anyway, I know what you're up to. That's one sure thing. Are you going to do as I tell you? I'm a scout, and I'm not going to get out till you put me out, so there." Slowly the big car moved up the rocky hill and around the bend, and the finding light, which had been focused on the church, shifted its area of distant brightness until Mr. Swiper turned it off, just as the two big headlights threw their glare along the straight level road. The small figure in the shabby gray sweater and tough-looking cap was nervous and apprehensive and angry, with a righteous anger. But he did not tremble like the poor little lonely figure waiting in the darkness with eyes fixed upon those two dazzling, glaring lights. 50792. There it is, Peter. Read it again as the car draws nearer to make sure. Yes, that is a 5. 50792. Don't you see the little gilt eagle on the radiator? He trembled. Oh, how he trembled. "Look-er here, you kid," said the driver to the huddled-up figure beside him. "I once croaked a Boy Scout that didn't do what I told him. Do you see? I croaked him. No Scout kid can put anything over on me. I won't have any kids interfering with my plans." "Oh, yes, you will, Mr. Swiper. You may have escaped from jail. The authorities of a dozen states may be after you. But just the same, you're going to stop when a little trembling pioneer scout in homespun pantaloons tells you to. Look ahead, where that dim light is, Mr. Swiper, with the cropped hair. Do you see something shining there, held in a little trembling hand? That is a knife, Mr. Swiper. The trembling hand that holds that knife belongs to a soul possessed, Mr. Swiper. He is crazed with a high resolve. See how he shakes? Oh, he's not thinking of you. He is thinking of the car, Mr. Swiper. He is not himself at all, and he is going to slash your tires if you pass that rope, Mr. Swiper. So you see? For it is said that opportunity knocks once at everyone's door, Mr. Swiper. It came to you on the ruins of that old school, and it has come away down here, Mr. Swiper, and knocked on the door of Peter Piper, Pioneer Scout, of Piper's Crossroads. End of chapter 22. Recording by John Brandon.